Today we're going to talk about replacing a dead battery or a dying battery in your old Game Boy cartridge. Now, a lot of people have requested this. I had some hangups before, but now we're finally going to do it. Let's go over a few things you might need in order to make this a little less painful, as well as a few little haphazards that I fell into along the way, so you don't have to. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need a way to open up your Game Boy case. Because the Game Boy case, as you might see, has a little tiny screw. The normal screwdriver will not be able to open. I forget the name of it, but so pardon me, I do apologize. You are going to need, you can look it up online as I have not done it previously, but you can buy a nice little tool that will open up that for you. Now, I do recommend that you're going to buy such a tool, that you do buy the tool that comes on a handle, or if you have a socket wrench, you go ahead and you're fine with this too. I personally forgot that I do not have my old socket wrench that's compatible for this, so I had to improvise. Though, being that I prepped this beforehand, I can loosen taking out the screw with just my hands. So this is what we'll be doing here. You will have a harder time if you use exactly what I use here. So I recommend paying a few extra dollars and getting the ones that come on a handle. It'll look something like a screwdriver. Now, here's the thing. These themselves, you buy a kit, a small one and a larger one, this should cost you about $5 to $8, give or take, on Amazon. Not the most expensive thing in the world, but it can appropriate fashion be a little. But once you get it to come out, which it looks like it is, take this, set it aside, flip it over, and it is a slide, not a pop off. It's a slide. It comes undone like so. Now I've already repaired this, so it's already prepped. Now, normally, let me remove the tape here so we can examine things here. I'll save that a little later here. Now normally, if you can see this, we'll kind of line this up real good. I find where the camera is. Normally, these 2 points on the connector will be soldered to the battery underneath here. It's also true with the slide the battery out here. It's also true for the contact and the connectors underneath here, if you can see that. Now, in order to fix that, you'll want to take a flathead screwdriver, a small one like so. Let me put the battery back in. Give you an example here. Angle this. It'll be flush. You want to go underneath and gently pry it off. Being very careful that these connectors are actually very, very, very delicate. Because there are only 2 points, just 2 points, both top, and bottom. Now it's very easy to pop these off the circuit board, the PCB, and if so, you have to do what I did right here and resolder them back on. Now, if you are not comfortable with soldering, you can simply take some Scotch tape and you can tape it back onto the metal contact there, because all you need to do is make metal on metal contact. However, I do not recommend that because after a while the Scotch tape will actually lose its rip, and it'll just fall around here and fall about here in this place right here. So what I actually recommend is being very careful. Break these two solder points on either side, and then replacing the battery. Now, for the battery itself, I have seen two types of batteries. I have seen 1616 and I have seen 2020s. The battery I'm using right now, if I look, is actually a 2032, which is totally okay, because from my understandings, researching the topic, going with a larger battery to a point will just give you more time as far as until the battery runs dry, because all it does is power the real-time clock inside the game for when the game is off and wants to save. That's all it does. But as long as we're being just safe and we're just doing things with the cord, I do kind of recommend staying close to whatever battery you pull out of the cartridge. Now, why are we going through all this trouble? Because you can just buy a battery desoldered to 2 points if you're comfortable with that, and buy a package of batteries that are pre-approved and just solder them back into the cartridge. Well, you can do that if you want, but I find it this way, once you go through the trouble of prying these contacts off, all you have to do is do what I just did. Just open it up, take the tape off, pop the battery out, pop a fresh battery in, put the tape back onto the top, close it up, and you're done. There's no more soldering needed after this is done. Anybody can replace the battery after the fact, provided you don't pop off the contact. So all we have to do now, provided we popped off the contacts, is we get rid of the bad battery, we put in the new battery, which I have done here. We get our piece of tape, which I have stuck to the desk because I am awesome. We put our piece of tape onto the top. Technically, we don't have to put tape onto the top. I just like to, because I like to. It's basically to hold the battery still inside the chassis more than anything else. Because when the case is closed, the case will hold it together. If you wanted to, you can put some very thin, non-conductive, words fail me, sponge in there if you wanted to. And that would do the same thing as the tape and keep the battery from roaming if you really wanted to. Let me just slide that back on, turn it around, put the screw back in, throw the wrench all over the place. Just kidding, don't do that. Try to find the screw. And it works. So that is how you replace a battery in an old Game Boy cartridge. Thank you for watching. I'm DB, and I'll see you later. Peace.